I knew the moment I stepped into Mr. Ellsworth's classroom that today wouldn't be easy. Martin Blake was already there, spinning a pencil between his fingers like he was bored of everything, including existing. His Letterman jacket was slung over his chair like it owned the place. And as usual, he was surrounded by laughter that I didn't belong in. I kept my head down and walked fast. "Hey, mouse girl," Martin called out, loud enough for half the class to turn. I clenched my teeth. "Ignore him. Just ignore him." "Oh wait," he added with a fake gasp. "Don't run too fast. Might drop your precious sketchbook again." Talia shot him a glare from the back. "Back off, Blake." I slid into the seat beside her and pulled my hoodie tighter around me. "Why does he always pick on you?" Talia whispered. "Because breathing isn't enough punishment," I muttered. She snorted. "You should stab him with a pencil." "I'd rather stab myself than give him the satisfaction," I whispered back. Mr. Ellsworth entered, and thankfully, the room quieted. But I still felt Martin's eyes on me. He always looked like he was trying to figure something out when he stared. Like I was a puzzle he didn't want to solve, just break apart. After class, I reached into my locker to grab my lunch, only to feel a hand smack the books out of my arms. "You're welcome," Martin said, smirking. "Looks like gravity hates you too." I dropped to the floor, cheeks burning. "Are you serious right now?" He shrugged. "Just helping you get stronger." "I don't need your help." "You sure?" He leaned down a little. "'Cause I've been carrying this whole school's attention since sophomore year." I didn't say anything. I just started picking up my stuff. Then came the worst part. He crouched down beside me. "I saw your little sad boy sketch in lit class," he said, his voice lower. "He still doesn't have a face. Is that because he's too ugly?" "Shut up," I snapped, standing. "You don't know anything about me." "Ooh, temper," he said, grinning. "Didn't think Mouse Girl could bite." I pushed past him. "Hey," he called behind me, but I didn't stop. "I swear, I'm gonna key his car," Talia said later, dropping a yogurt onto my lunch tray. "That would require finding his brain first," I sighed, poking at my salad. She leaned across the table. "Nora, I'm serious. This isn't just teasing. It's targeted." "Yeah, well, I've survived worse." Her face softened. "You shouldn't have to survive school." I didn't reply. She didn't know the full story. About my mom working 3 jobs. About how I stay up drawing because sleep brings nightmares. About how I applied to that out-of-state art program and never told anyone. Suddenly, Sophie walked by our table. "Careful," she said loudly. "Don't let the weird girl draw you in." Martin laughed from across the cafeteria. That laugh made my stomach turn. I went to the art room after school, like I always did. It was my safe place. Smelled like glue sticks and old paint. I took out my sketchbook and started drawing the rainbow again. Still no face. Just the outline of someone watching me from a distance. "I wish you were real," I whispered. Then I shook my head. God, I sound pathetic. The door creaked open. I froze. It was Martin. "What are you doing here?" I snapped. He shrugged. "Coach told me to get posters for the food drive. They're in the bin. Take them and go." He didn't move. His eyes landed on my sketch. "That him?" "Don't," I warned. "Didn't mean to ruin it," he said, voice suddenly not so cocky. "You ruin everything," I said, louder than I meant to. He looked at me, for real, like he saw me, and then he just nodded, grabbed the posters, and left. No teasing. No smirking. Just gone. I stared after him for a long time. For the first time, I wasn't sure who I hated more, him or myself for wondering what he meant. I should have kept it at home. I knew better. But I brought my sketchbook anyway, the old one, the one filled with pages I never show anyone. It had the rainbow, the faceless dream figures, even the broken heart doodles I drew when I couldn't cry. It felt safe in my bag, until it wasn't. Talia and I were walking to lit class when it happened. "Oh no," she said, her eyes widening. I turned. Martin was holding my sketchbook. My sketchbook. He dangled it by 2 fingers like it was trash. "What's this? Diaries of a Tortured Mouse?" "Give it back," I snapped, marching toward him. He flipped it open. Whoa, okay, spooky. Is this guy supposed to be me? "Martin, I'm serious. Give it back." "Relax," he said, walking backwards into the hallway, flipping more pages. "This one looks like he's about to cry. Poor little emo ghost." "Stop it." I chased after him, my heart pounding like a drum. Students turned. A few laughed. Someone took out their phone. I felt sick. Martin stopped outside the lockers and held up a page. "This one's my favorite. I call it Wet Boy Thinking About Feelings." I didn't think. I just grabbed the sketchbook and shoved him. Hard. His smirk dropped. "Whoa, chill. Don't ever touch my stuff again," I said, my voice shaking. For a second, the hallway was silent, like the whole world froze. Then someone snorted. Then laughter. I turned and ran. I didn't stop until I was inside the girls' bathroom, inside a stall, clutching the sketchbook to my chest. Talia found me there 5 minutes later. "You okay?" she asked gently. I shook my head. That was messed up. He crossed a serious line. I stared at the page he'd flipped to. The rain boy stood alone. His shoulders hunched like he could feel every word hurled at him. I drew him that way on purpose. "He humiliated me," I whispered, in front of everyone. "You humiliated him right back," she said. "Did you see his face?" "I don't care." But I did. And I hated that I did. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the scene. The laughter, his voice, the way he looked when I shoved him, like he didn't expect it, like he saw me for the first time. I turned over and stared at the ceiling. Maybe I was overthinking it, maybe not. The next morning, I went to my locker, and there it was, my sketchbook, sitting inside, wrapped in brown paper, tied with a piece of yarn. I froze. There was a note taped to the front. "Didn't mean to ruin anything. Sorry, M." I stared at it for a long time. My heart did something weird. I opened the sketchbook slowly. The last page was new, a cartoon drawing of me in a superhero cape, tiny fists in the air, hair blowing in the wind. Underneath, in his handwriting, it said, "Mouse Girl Strikes Back." I should have been angry, but instead I laughed, just once, quietly. Later, in art class, I kept looking over at his seat in the back of the room. He wasn't sketching or talking, just staring out the window, tapping a pencil against his leg. When class ended, he walked by my desk, didn't say anything, but as he passed, he whispered, "Cool drawing, by the way." I looked up, and for the first time since freshman year, he didn't smirk. He smiled, just a little, and then he was gone. I didn't tell Talia. I didn't even know what to think, but I found myself flipping to that last page over and over again, running my fingers across the lines. Maybe it didn't mean anything, or maybe it meant everything. When Principal Hawthorne announced the annual Thanksgiving food drive in the auditorium, I already knew something bad was coming. I could feel it in my bones, like a weather warning inside my chest. Each homeroom will create posters and donation booths, he said. Students will be paired randomly across grades. Check the lists in the hallway. Randomly. Great. Talia and I rushed to the paper during lunch, elbowing through a small crowd. Her eyes scanned first. Then she turned to me with a face full of dread. "Nora, don't scream." I looked. Nora Amali, Martin Blake. I stared at the paper. "Nope," I said flatly. "Absolutely not." Talia winced. "Maybe it's a different Martin Blake." "There is only one Martin Blake," I snapped, "and he's the reason my stressed dreams wear varsity jackets." I debated going to the principal's office. I even wrote a draft email in my notes app. But when the bell rang for 7th period, there he was, leaning against the art room door, spinning keys on one finger like the world owed him applause. "Well, look who's my partner in poster crime," Martin said. "I'd rather do community service in a ditch," I muttered. "That's the spirit," he grinned. "Shall we make some magic?" I walked past him without answering. The art room was empty, echoing with dried paint and afternoon light. I gathered colored markers and poster boards while he leaned against a table, pretending to be helpful. "So, what's the vision, mouse girl?" "Stop calling me that." He raised an eyebrow. "All right, Nora then, what's the vision?" I ignored him. We started designing the first poster in silence. I wrote the title in bubble letters. "Forks High feeds the town." "Hey," he said, "that looks good." I blinked. "What?" He gestured. "The way you blend colors, it's nice." I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. None came. "Are you having a stroke?" He chuckled. "You're funny when you're mad." I didn't smile, but I wasn't frowning either. An hour passed. He cut shapes. I glued. He offered to draw a turkey. It ended up looking like a sick potato with feathers. "Okay," I laughed, unable to stop. "What even is that?" He looked proud. "Abstract expressionism. It's a toe with wings." "Art is subjective," he said, grinning. It happened so fast, I almost missed it. I reached for the glue stick. He reached at the same time. Our hands touched. Just for a second, but I pulled mine back like I'd been electrocuted. He didn't move, just looked at me. I stared at the poster. "I don't get you," I muttered. "Most people don't," he replied. I paused. "You're mean one day, nice the next. Why?" He opened his mouth, then stopped. Finally, he shrugged. "People wear different masks at school. You wear headphones. I wear a smirk. That's not the same thing." He didn't argue. When we finished the posters, I packed up my bag quickly. "Hey," he said before I left, "don't forget this." He handed me a folded piece of paper. I raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "Just open it later." I stuffed it in my sketchbook and walked out without a word. In my room that night, I finally unfolded the paper. It was a doodle, a rough sketch of the Rain Boy. Only now, he had an umbrella, and he was holding it over a cartoon version of me, small, annoyed, arms crossed. I stared at it for a long time. Then I whispered out loud, "Who even are you, Martin Blake?" I didn't talk to Martin for 2 days, but he started showing up. Once in the art room, standing quietly at the door before slipping away. Once in the cafeteria line, pretending to need a fork just as I reached for one. Once in lit class, sitting behind me instead of near James. Each time I told myself it was a coincidence, until I couldn't anymore. On Wednesday, I was at my locker, struggling with a jammed zipper on my bag.
"Need help?" a voice said behind me. I nearly jumped.
Martin said quickly. He didn't leave. "I like your playlist," he said casually. "The stuff you listen to in study hall. It's good." I turned slowly. "You listen to my music?" He shrugged. "Hard not to. You play it loud." I blinked. "So now you stalk my locker and critique my music?" He smirked. "Relax. I'm just saying, people don't expect you to like indie punk. It's cool." I didn't know what to say, so I muttered, "Thanks," and walked away. But I heard him say quietly, "Anytime, Nora." At lunch, I told Talia. "You're kidding," she said. "He complimented your playlist?" I nodded. "Girl, that's flirting." No, it's weird and flirting." I didn't reply, but my stomach fluttered in a way that made me angry. The next day, Martin sat next to me in lit again. He tapped my desk during roll call. "Hey," he whispered, "can I borrow a pen?" I handed him one without looking at him. Then he tapped again. "What?" He leaned in. "You smell like vanilla." I froze. "I didn't mean that creepy," he added quickly. "It's just nice." I stared at him. Was he blushing? Martin Blake, blushing. I looked away, heart racing. What was happening? That afternoon, Sophie cornered me at my locker. "Don't think just because he talks to you that you matter," she hissed. I blinked. "Excuse me?" "Martin flirts with everyone. Don't read into it." I slammed my locker shut. "Thanks for the warning." She smirked. "Just looking out for the school charity case." I didn't respond. I just walked away. But her words echoed. Was I just another game to him? That evening, I sat at my desk, staring at the cartoon he'd drawn. The umbrella, the tiny me, the sad rainbow. I flipped the page and started sketching again. This time, the girl had her own umbrella, and she was holding it for someone else. Friday morning, it rained. Of course, and I forgot my umbrella. I stood at the edge of the school parking lot, pulling my hood tight, ready to make a run for it. Then someone appeared beside me, Martin, holding out his umbrella without saying a word. I hesitated. "Seriously," he said. "Take it, you'll melt." I rolled my eyes but took it. He walked with me under it, just a bit too close. "This doesn't mean I like you," I said. "I know," he said softly, "but you're trying to confuse me." He smiled. "Maybe I'm just done pretending." I stopped walking. "What does that mean?" I asked. He turned toward me. "It means, I think I was a jerk to you because I didn't know how else to get close." My heart thudded. "And now?" "I'm trying to do it right." I stared at him. He looked nervous. For once, he wasn't smirking. He looked real. I took a step forward. "Don't mess with me, Martin." "I'm not." And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't hate him anymore, not even a little.